Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tales of the Pod podcast. My name's Michaela, I'm your host.
Hi, I'm your co-host Nick. Long time no see,
I was
everybody.
gonna say, it's been a minute since I've done that. I almost thought we changed it to Tales from the Pod.
I know, that's what I know.
Which we were going to do initially, and then I was like, it's kind of too similar to Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, that was our initial thing, and it was like, we were worried, like, if this took off or something, it'd be copyright or whatever, but,
we can't
it still probably will be. At least
still,
we're trying not to.
It's still probably a little too close for comfort for some people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we definitely can't afford to get copyrighted.
Yeah, so,
But as you can see, we have a new set. Trying our best to make it look spooky. We'll probably add some more features to it if we keep doing this.
Yep, we're doing, we've moved into a new place, so we're going to do like a recap on 2024 horror movies that we have seen. So it's going to be pretty interesting. A lot of ones we didn't see, but we did see quite a few that were made in 2024. So hopefully you guys have seen them too and can relate to our opinions on them.
Yeah, I think we've seen most of them, and I know we've taken some time off. You know, life gets in the way.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
exactly. Life does get in the way.
Coming back to 2025, I think the best thing to start off the year would be just to review our favorites for the year. It's going to be a very informal episode. We'll just talk about the ones we liked, the ones we didn't like, what we're excited for 2025. I think overall, 2024, I think it was a good year for horror. I
definitely agree. I mean, we had some really big ones. I mean, we had a really precedent-setting thing happen with horror. Terrifier 3 became the #1 movie in America, so I mean that's just a huge milestone for for horror in general. So that was pretty cool to witness that. Outdo what was it, the Joker it was up against or something like that?
Yeah, it came out the same weekend as the Joker because they kept making like clown versus clown things.
Yeah, that's what the whole premise was.
The Joker coming out with, was it Joaquin Phoenix?
Yep, Joaquin Phoenix.
And then Lady Gaga going against a movie that had a budget of probably like $300,000.
Probably a lot more than that.
Not very much. I know the Joker, they had a budget of like a few million.
Oh yeah, definitely. Probably $30-40 million budget.
They bombed.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because the movie.
How much the budget was.
I don't know if it was because the movie was so poor, or if it went up against Terrifier. I don't really know.
What was that? It's like
La Fure. It's something French.
I don't know. The internet's not working.
Let's see
if you got it. But yeah, I remember because it's obviously like Damien Leone. I mean, he's not a huge, well-known director. I mean, he is now, but he wasn't at the time. But now he's like, basically.
It's got a 1.8 out of 5. The Joker.
Oh wow. What's the budget?
So, highly unlikely to make a profit. It was reported to a $200 million budget.
Wow.
And it had low box office numbers.
Yeah, because Terrifier came in and stole
So
the
I
show.
think it only made like $50 million because they said that they're supposed to lose about $150 million. And they spent $200 million on it. And then let's look up Terrifier 3 profit.
Oh, I know that. Well, I knew it. He made a huge profit on it.
$89.8 million.
Yeah, off of like $200
million budget.
$2 million budget. That's like 300 times.
Which the only reason he had a budget like that was because the second one did so well. Which I know the second one, I believe he made a budget of like $250,000.
Yeah.
And he ended up making millions off that.
Oh yeah.
It was like an 85,000% increase on what he put into it.
Right.
So, Terrifier 3, he was able to... But he funds his own movies.
I know, that's the cool part about it, because he's not a sellout. That's why...
No. So he had the funding from Terrifier 2, the profit he made from that, and then just turned it into another movie right after that.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty cool that, somebody that kind of isn't a big name really just came and showed Hollywood how to make a good horror movie.
And he did it.
And I mean, it worked. I mean, it's #1 movie in America, so that means even against like dramas and comedies that are in theaters, that movie still beat all of them too. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty sweet.
And I think there's so much to say about it. He does his own special effects, which is great. Mm-hmm. And I guess this movie, they were only given a year to make it. The second one, it was during COVID, so it kind of got delayed, so they had longer time to work on it.
Yeah.
But this one, he only had a year, and I guess up until the night it premiered, he was still editing the movie.
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
Like, still trying. So you can tell he really cares about it, and I think that those movies just get classified as like, oh, you're sick if you enjoy that, or whatever. People just dismiss them as
I know, but who
torture
cares?
porn, whatever. But it's like, obviously, most people enjoy that.
Oh, no, I mean...
If it was the highest grossing movie of 2024.
Yeah, I mean, that just goes to show how sick all of us are if it's the #1 movie in the country.
So I guess starting out strong, we both agree that Terrifier 3 was definitely a great movie. Do you think it was better than the second one?
Yeah, because it kind of... Well, I like the second one because it kind of started more of a story premise where you could, he built off of it, obviously, with Terrifier 3. So the second one was cool how he did that, but, as far as gore and, violence, probably the third one.
Really?
Just full on me liking it and, all that stuff. So, I mean, there were some really, really good kill scenes in it. I mean... I don't think as good as the salting and the bleach and the bedroom scene in the second one, but the chainsaw and the shower in the locker room, that was brutal. That was definitely brutal.
I think it was more controversial too. They had the more shocking kills, when they kill all those kids, or I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but when they kill all those younger adults at the mall. Yeah. Everyone was freaking out about the opening scene. I'm like, I think that's the crazier scene, is that the kid opens a bomb in the middle of the mall and just goes to shreds. But,
yeah, exactly. I mean, and it was cool because there was a cameo with Angela in the second one.
Tom Savini was in the third.
Tom Savini was the mall cop in the third one, which was pretty sweet.
That was the ice cream man.
Oh yeah, Clint Howard. He was also had a cameo, so a couple cameos in this one too.
Yeah, I think he definitely has respect for the genre.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he definitely pays homage to it, and obviously the scene too, when Art after and it's basically he goes and lays dormant with I forget her name, Veronica.
Vicky.
Vicky. Yeah, they go lay dormant in this old factory, and he's sitting upstairs in a rocking chair in the window.
Mm-hmm. Black Christmas.
It's the Black Christmas. I mean, that's the first thing that you think of when you see him sitting there in the window, and it's the chair's angled, and he's rocking, and he's kind of just sitting there like that, you know?
I know, and I love that the second one had the actors that played Angela in it, because I feel like the second one was very 80s vibes, between the music and the lighting.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Very, 80s slasher.
Yeah.
If an 80s slasher were to show what those movies show, obviously, because in the 80s they didn't really do that, but I think the vibe for sure was very 80s.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there were ones in the 80s that pushed the limit, but they were never, big movies
not
like that.
Yeah.
No, not with the kids. Yeah. No, definitely not that stuff, no.
They wouldn't be... It's crazy to, we saw it, and I'm like, this was in theaters? People thought insane
crazy
to me that other people went... There was kids in our theater, too, younger people.
Oh, yeah, there was definitely kids that snuck in. And it's cool, because I don't think it got an... I think it did get an NC-17 rating. It did, because because it was the first NC-17 movie to become #1 movie in the country, that's another huge milestone, because NC-17 movies never ever get close to that. So,
and I think I spend my life and my very last breath trying to explain to people that it's a good movie and it's more than just the kill scenes and we're not sick for watching it. Whatever. I feel like I just spend so much time doing that, but
yeah, I know, and it's cool. I was saying, because there's a story now with it, because it's now it's this chronicle. It's I can't remember, Lauren Lavera versus Art the Clown. I can't remember her name. Sienna.
Yeah. Lauren Lavera was born to play Sienna. She is...
Oh, man. I know. She is such a badass girl, too.
Absolute queen. I actually listened to this whole podcast, and they explained how the idea of the third one is, that she's the second coming of Christ. And Terrifier, or Art, I guess, would either be a demon or, Satan himself, because... Vicky says, I see why they sent you, you're very strong, and this and that.
Yeah.
So I think in the next one, in Dante's Inferno kind of style, she'll descend to hell.
That's what I'm kind of thinking, too.
To get Gabby back, the young girl.
Yes,
Which, spoiler alert for this episode, if you guys haven't seen these movies, we're going to definitely ruin them.
Yeah, we're definitely going to ruin some
But still go
movies.
check them out if you haven't seen them.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially Terrifier 3.
Yeah, I definitely think out of all the movies we're going to mention, that's probably my favorite one of the year.
It was definitely my most highly anticipated movie of the year.
Yeah.
I think going into it, that was the one I was most excited for.
Oh, and
I don't think it disappointed. I think I really enjoyed it for sure.
I know, there was the cool thing too, there was just so much hype around this movie, which is awesome too, because he really built the hype up on it and everything, and he delivered. That's the best part. It wasn't a huge letdown like some of the other ones that came out this year.
So many times in series or when they make multiple horror movies, they get worse.
Yeah.
These, I feel are getting better.
I definitely agree, but I feel it's going to reach a certain point, though. they're going to get worse if he continued on.
Yeah,
like, dude, we don't need a Terrifier 12, you know,
no.
or like Terrifier in space or something.
Something,
you know?
he promised he was only going to do 4, but then I guess with this movie getting a theater release, they told him that it has to be under 2 hours, so he had to cut out a lot.
Yeah.
So now he's going to do another 2 movies and then call it a day.
I gotcha. Oh, so he's going to like make it parts basically. That's going to be cool.
For the movie theaters to play it, they want it to be under 2 hours, which is
which I get. Like they did that with like Lord of the Rings and stuff.
But I feel like other movies like Barbie and all that were like 2.5, or Gladiator, like some of the bigger movies that came out this recently. Or
maybe
Wicked.
that was like the stipulation though. Was like if you want this in theaters, you're gonna have to cut it down in time.
I know Wicked's like 3 hours.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are movies out there obviously that are go over that, but I think that was probably like a big stipulation for a theater release.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. Well, moving on, talking about some other movies that we saw this year, because we could talk about Terrifier probably a whole episode, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
How did you feel about Smile 2?
Oh, that was really good. I really enjoyed Smile too.
Yeah.
I like that whole idea of Smile. That's like a whole new like horror level. I think like it's definitely like a heightened horror, I guess, or however you want to call it. But
like
it's like a new level of horror because I feel like the whole message behind it is like something to do with like mental health and like how scary that is for people and like in particular, like schizophrenia and stuff like that. Where you think,
a good point.
People are smiling at you all the time, or they're out to get you and stuff.
No, it's a good point because it's like you're the only one that can see it, and you're trying to convince people like, "Hey, this is happening to me," and no one listens to you.
Yeah,
so that is a really good metaphor.
And like people in psychosis and stuff, it's like that same kind of. That's at least what I took away from it. Both those movies, Smile 1 and 2. But yeah, Smile 2 was definitely, that was pretty crazy because the whole time you think this girl is trying to, like, she's finally going to beat the thing and stuff like that. But no way, dude. She is being led along by this demon or whatever this thing is, some sort of entity.
Some sort of, like, deity thing.
Yeah, and the whole time you think, like, oh, it's going to end. She's going to beat this demon and it's going to be, end of the movie. No, it takes a wicked turn. And, like, I was not expecting it at all. It had a really good turn at the end. I'm not going to give it away because I definitely think you guys should go see this. And it's good to watch movies like that because it kind of gives you an insight to maybe like somebody or I had a friend that was schizophrenic, so I mean I can kind of relate to it and kind of picture what he might have been seeing and like during his episodes and stuff like that. So,
and what's interesting about the second one specifically is the main character. She's like a rich, famous singer. It's like she has all the resources in the world. She has all the money. She has all the help to really seek out what this is. Yeah. And she does kind of figure it out relatively quickly. Yeah. And still just to be, defeated in the end.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like the whole time you think she's like got it. Like she's like it's
You're like, oh, she's gonna handle it because she meets a guy that happened to his brother happened to.
Yeah, and he had a way to like kill it basically, and like you're like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like you're gonna finally this thing's gonna get killed or whatever, and nope.
Which I heard they're making a third one. Which I think with this storyline specifically, you could make 1 million of them.
Yeah, and I don't think it would get boring. It'd be like VHS kind of like every time one comes out, it's gonna be a good movie, you know.
And I think the kills in this movie too are always very good for like I think it's a PG-13 movie.
I think the first one was. I don't know about this one though. It might be 13.
I'm not sure. I just sneeze.
Yeah, but let me look it up real quick. Smile 2 rating. That did get an R rating. Yeah, but yeah, I mean there was some really good kills in it. Yeah, really good one.
Not to bring up, because I think it came out in like 2022, but the first movie when she like walks up to the car and she goes like,
oh my god,
and her neck like.
I know that's what sold me on that movie was that one scene because it was in the trailer and I was like, whoa, like this is gonna be some either like really good body horror movie or just something far out like that, like kind of Cronenberg style. But
which, speaking of really good body horror movie, The Substance.
Yes.
We saw recently.
Yeah, we probably watched that, I don't know, a month and a half ago or so.
Yeah, it's on HBO Max right now for those of you that haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a good one. It was one of the longer horror movies too. I think it went like 2.5 hours or 2 hours and
2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, so about 2.5 hours, and it was cool because it had, Demi Moore. Which is awesome to see. She's like back at acting. Well, I don't think she ever quit, but you know what I mean? Like in a big movie like that. And it did really well too, and it got a very good rating on all the movie
like
critic,
IMDb and all that,
on the movie critic sites. So that was pretty cool.
And she just won a Golden Globe for it,
Yeah,
which is crazy.
and she won an award for it, which she never had won an award before for a movie. And she's been some awesome, like Ghost. I definitely thought she would have won, or G.I. Jane, or something.
She's like, I've been in this industry for like 45 years, and they told me that I was like a popcorn actress, and I needed to hang it up. And I think, like, the irony, I mean, if you've seen the movie, you know, but I think the irony of her winning an award for a movie like this, with this kind of premise that the movie tries to, like, hammer home.
Yeah,
and she's older, and she wins an award for it after they told her she's too old. I just think it's so
kind of comes
satisfying.
Full circle for her, you know what I mean?
It's like art becoming life, and vice versa.
I know, that was a really good movie, and I like how it kind of dove into, like, I mean, I wouldn't call it so far as like a horror movie. I'd call it more of like a sci-fi movie, because there wasn't really a lot of kills. There was no murders or anything like that really happened in it. But definitely like psychological horror for sure.
And I think like social commentary, like Jordan Peele style, like trying to hammer home a message, but using a really disturbing way to do it. Yeah,
definitely very, very Jordan Peele-esque of it. I mean, just the whole premise of like how, the whole movie was based around her becoming older and like a washed up celebrity. Mm-hmm. And this, she decides to take this medicine.
Younger and hotter.
Yeah, that makes her shed her skin and produce this younger, hotter girl. Well, that part was actually pretty fucked up when she, like, her spine split open and the other girl climbed out of it.
My parents I was playing that movie, they walked in at that exact moment. And I'm like, parents always walk in at the worst times.
I know, and I'm like...
But they're like, what are you watching? And I'm like, no, I promise it's a good movie.
Yeah, that was like, so I'm like, okay, that was pretty, like, definitely like Cronenberg style right there. Like with the body horror, like bodies like getting ripped open and stuff. But it wasn't like horror like you would think, Definitely like a higher level of horror.
And I saw an interview with her talking about it too, and I didn't think about it this way when I initially watched it, but looking back, it makes sense. They were like, how did you feel about preparing for this movie? She goes, well, it's difficult because most of the scenes I'm just by myself and there's no dialogue.
Yeah,
and if you think about it, it's like most of it she has to convey with her face how upset she is or whatever. She's not talking to a lot of people because they switch bodies back and forth, so they're never really together. Mm-hmm. So I think that's definitely shows her acting abilities, and I loved it. I love the ending because she's like a monster and then she finally feels pretty. I just think it's...
I know, right?
I love it. And then she grows a boob out of her face.
I know. The body horror stuff was pretty cool in that. Definitely like a Cronenberg type of film.
Yeah, that was a fun movie, I'd say, 2024.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely really liked it. What'd you think of the Salem's Lot remake?
I mean, it wasn't bad by any means. There's definitely been some bad Stephen King adaptations, but I just don't think it was, like, needed.
Yeah, I didn't think it needed to be done, because, I mean, they made one in 2004, I think, with Rob Lowe, or 2006 or something. That was a remake of this, the 1979 one, or 78 one.
I think it's 78.
Which I love the original. The original is very good. And they did, like, one in the 80s, Return to Salem's Lot, which I didn't really care for that one as much, but,
yeah.
This one is pretty cool because it kind of, it's a little more action-packed, I feel like, but it's basically the same retelling, there's nothing really new about it, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was definitely a good one.
I don't think it was bad by any means. Would I watch it again? Probably not. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it again.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but
I don't think it's bad adaptation by any means. I think it's just, like, kind of there.
Sure. No, I definitely agree. It's cool because it was an HBO original too, so that was pretty cool that HBO's doing that kind of stuff. I mean, they have forever, but like they're doing like more horror stuff, Well,
especially because there's so many Stephen King adaptations that are terrible. Like we just rewatched, I think it was the 2014 version of Carrie, which I hate that remake.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I think it's so terrible and so cringy, and so like 2014. I hate it. Just that should have never been made. Doesn't need to be done. The original's fine.
I know, and even the one we started watching, the one with Catherine Isabel, 2002 one or whatever, 2004. That was even worse.
That was bad.
It looked like somebody filmed it with like a camcorder.
That was bad.
It was so bad.
And why? The first one killed it. I think it's it's timeless. It still stands the test of time. It doesn't need to be done.
No, I definitely agree.
But it's a cash grab for a lot of people to redo those. So.
Oh, for sure. But no, I thought Salem's Lot was a pretty good remake.
So moving on to one that I think we both enjoyed. I saw the TV Glow.
Yeah, that one was really good.
That was a A24 movie, I believe.
Yeah.
Very different, kind of.
Yeah, very like fantasy almost.
Yeah,
like a fantasy horror,
nostalgic fantasy.
Yeah,
very aesthetically pleasing. I think it's the most aesthetically pleasing movie I saw this year.
A24 always nails it with like their aesthetics and stuff like that, especially like in period films like that. Like they just hit it right on the head every time.
Very interesting concept too.
Yeah, like the whole idea of like a lost TV show kind of thing, which you like, that's interesting stuff, you know, like lost footage or like a lost episode of something, like that's always really interesting, or like banned episodes. You know, there's always huge Reddit threads on all that stuff.
I was just going to say, whenever I go on YouTube, there's always like things like, oh, like lost TV shows, or people will be like, help me find this TV show I watched when I was younger. I don't remember the name.
I don't remember the name. Like it was on this station. That's the only thing they knew of it. But like, you know, this is 40 years ago almost. You know?
I think we all have that like somewhere buried in our brains of like some show we like kind of remember, but we can't figure it out. We have all these memories we can't piece together, and that's kind of what this movie plays on. Yeah. In like a very unsettling way.
I know, and it kind of has like a twist in it too, because it's like you think like that's all they're looking for is like this like TV show, but it's like no, they're actually the stars of this TV show, and they don't realize it, kind of thing, kind of like Truman Show kind of thing. But
and it's like kind of, I don't know, you feel a lot of emotions watching it too, because it's very sad at the end where he's like working at that arcade and then he like rips his abdomen open, eats a TV. Yeah, it's very sad. I felt bad for him.
I know, it's like he's like living in like the past still, and like never kind of moved on from like that show, and like you know, it's a deeper message obviously than just like, you know, I love this show so much, obviously. Like, there's obviously...
No, I think if you haven't seen it, we're not explaining it.
Yeah, because it is kind of... You got to just kind of watch it, because it is, like, you can take away a lot of different points made in the film.
But, I think we liked it. And I'm not usually one that likes super weird, out-of-pocket horror movies. But I think this one was really good.
Yeah, you sat through it, which surprised me, because I thought you were going to get, like, bored of it.
No, I think, honestly, like, the way it was shot, the music, the characters made it all very appealing.
The pink opaque. Yeah, that was the name of the show in the movie that they were trying to figure out. Yeah, that was pretty cool. What did you think about M. Night Shyamalan's Trapped?
So, actually, my brother told me to watch this movie, and then I checked it out, and I love M. Night Shyamalan. Most of his movies I love. As of recently, it's gotten a little like touch and go, but I love most of his movies. I think starting out, it did really, really good, like capturing you, because you're like, what? I have some critiques. I wish that it kind of, I don't know, I feel like you immediately find out he's a serial killer. I kind of wish there was a little more like lore to that. Yeah. You find out the dad's a serial killer.
I know, like the plot twist that M. Night Shyamalan normally does in his movies was like within like the first 20 minutes of the movie, there's the plot twist. So.
And then it's like him trying to run from it, and I feel like him trying to run from it could have been 20 minutes. It didn't have to be the entire movie. Yeah. It was suspenseful, but I do think a lot of it was just trying to get his daughter's like singing career off the
I think he was more trying to get like his daughter to, you know,
and she was not
get in the limelight.
A good actress. Like
I thought she was okay.
When she like steals his phone and she goes to the bathroom, like I don't know, it felt kind of unrealistic.
I don't know. Was it? Like it? I thought it was good. I like Josh Hartnett in it, you know, because I mean his Halloween H2O, and then he was in The Faculty. So I mean he's been in some horror movies before, but I would like to see him in more for sure, because he did a very good job playing like a sociopathic killer. Like he was definitely like on top of everything.
And I love the idea. The idea of it is very unique.
Yes, very cool idea.
I love the idea of it.
Never seen a movie like that before.
Nope. I would watch it again. I do have some like areas where I was kind of let down, and I was like, I feel like it could have been a little more like let's keep it going, because I just felt left out. Like when in the beginning when he checks his phone, you see the guy in the basement. It's like, oh, so it's him. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I know. And that is a thing. Like, and it wasn't really even horror. It was more of like suspense like thriller, action. I guess even you could call it too.
Yeah, but I don't hate it by any means. Like, definitely go check it out.
Yeah, no, I definitely liked it a lot. And I think it was a Netflix release only. I don't think it was a theater debut one.
No, it wasn't in theaters. Which is weird, because M. Night Shyamalan's usually a big director.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of M. Night Shyamalan, his daughter made her directorial debut this year with Watchers.
Yes.
Did you like Watchers?
I loved Watchers. I love folk horror. I know it didn't really get a great rating, but I love Dakota Fanning too. She's like one of my all-time favorite actresses, and Yeah, I mean, that was a really good movie. Folk horror, especially like Irish folk horror and, you know, anything like old European folklore is always good, in my opinion. I thought it was a cool concept with like how, you know, the fairies they're still real, like they're just lying dormant kind of thing, and then they can take over. They need to mimic humans so they can like basically go back out into the real world. It was a cool concept.
I think it was cool, and then at the end, like, she kind of mastered the plot twist, too. At the end, when you think that her friend is really her friend, it's not.
Yeah, it's one of the fairies. Yeah, that was really cool.
I will say, I'd have to rewatch it, but my only critique would be, like, starting out, it was very confusing. It was like a lot happening at once. And then it wasn't until like halfway during the movie we're like, okay, there's creatures out there they're scared of, because they were just like, go inside, go inside.
Yeah, and like the whole time you think it's just going to be something like in their mind, or it's like this lady, this lady's just like, you know, has this weird building in the middle of the woods, and she's just like crazy as hell and convincing all these people that they're crazy too, kind of thing. You know,
it reminded me of that movie, Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, it definitely kind of had that, like, don't go outside after dark kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
and you're like, okay, this girl's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, she's not. But no, it turns out there's actually fairies. And that's very unique concepts that she ran with, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that. That was definitely a really good movie, in my opinion. Definitely check out Watchers for sure.
Yeah, I'd say it's worth a watch.
Yeah. But, back to some other ones. I mean, there's quite a few. Like, again, we didn't watch a lot, but, I mean, there was there was that one Deliverance on Netflix with Glenn Close, which I hated that movie. That was just horrible. I can't believe I watched that. Like,
that one scene, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was just terrible.
I can't repeat it, but...
Yeah, we can't say it, but yeah, I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
That was, of course, every year there's a lot of bad horror movies, but another good one we saw, which I think was a Shudder original, it wasn't a theater release, was Oddity.
I was just gonna say Oddity. That is definitely one I think everybody should go see. If you want a creepy, unsettling horror movie, watch Oddity.
Unique. Like, I feel like there's so many unique horror movies this year. This was a very unique concept that you've never seen before.
I know, man. It was like witchcraft and murder.
And, true crime.
Yeah. It was all tied in. A really good movie, and a blind girl too involved in it, you know.
There was a lot of like and then the mistress, and there was a lot.
Yeah.
And that creature that's just like.
Yeah, the stick person. It was like a Wicker Man, mannequin, and it was so good. That's definitely probably in my top 5 for sure. And then we had VHS Beyond come out too, which was highly anticipated, and I thought it did deliver pretty good. I was really upset at the last video in the movie because it was literally like 5 minutes long, and then it cuts to credits, and it was normally like it's the one like you're waiting for because they're kind of like cutting back and forth between takes, showing like, you know, this is going to be a crazy one. Horrible letdown.
And not only was that a letdown, but it was a letdown as well because it was Kate Siegel's directorial debut, Mike Flanagan's wife. Yeah. And it was very highly anticipated because she's like, oh, she gets to direct, her husband always directs. And it's just not.
I don't know exactly which one she directed.
She did the last one.
It was the last one?
She did the last one.
She's got to just either go back to acting or step her game up because that was horrible. I was very upset with that.
I will say that Justin Long directed one, and that was very good.
That one was actually really good. We were talking about how like he's scarred from Tusk, so he has to do like this weird like body animal horror. Do it now. Animal body horror stuff.
Somebody that makes humans an animal that they shouldn't.
Yeah, he's just scarred from starring in that movie.
But I feel like I haven't seen a good VHS in a while. I know they're making another one in 2025. I hope it's better than they have been.
I mean, I like the whole idea of this one being like kind of all extraterrestrial because, you know, I'm huge into aliens and extraterrestrials and stuff. So that was obviously really cool. But yeah, I would definitely like to see more of them. But like, they're like kind of those movies you can put on, and it's like it's not going to hurt you if they are bad. You know,
no,
you'll still sit and watch it. You know, because it's like, okay, that was shitty. Let's see what the next one's going to be. You know, and the next one could be really good. You know,
there's some movies where it's like I have a higher standard and I expect more. Like the M. Night Shyamalan, I'm like I expect more out of him. Yeah, because he has like bigger theater release movies. VHS, I'm like, I know what it's going to be.
Yeah, you kind of can anticipate how it's going to all kind of play out.
I understand the kind of vibe it's going to be.
Yeah. But, speaking of aliens, though, we did see Alien Romulus, too, which I thought was really good.
I thought it was good too.
Yeah, I thought that was a good Alien movie. Kind of cool how it's set in between like Alien and Aliens. It's like in the middle there,
and especially because we're not really well versed in the Alien universe.
No,
we
not
haven't
really.
Seen all of the spin-offs.
No, I haven't. I've only seen Alien and then Aliens and then Alien versus Predator. You know, and Prometheus, but that's kind of like its own storyline.
I think it was smart to make it like easy for the viewers because not everyone has seen all the spin-offs of Alien, you know, so it's very easy. You watch the first one, you can understand this one very easily.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was really cool.
Cool concept. Like the guy was a cyborg or
whatever. Yeah, like how they are in like all of them, you know. And it was kind of cool how they were able to like AI generate Ian Holm because Sir Ian Holm played in the original. He was the original cyborg. You know, obviously, if you guys have, I mean, I'm sure all of you have seen Alien. So that was kind of cool how they're able to like bring him back into the picture.
And then he has like a moral crisis.
Yeah, and like, you know, it's cool because it's in between Alien and Alien. So like he's obviously still there in that timeline. So it worked out kind of cool how they were able to do that.
It's cool. Like when they did that in Halloween. I forgot, was it Halloween 2018 when they put, what's his name in there?
Oh, Dr. Loomis. Yeah, Donald Pleasance. Yeah.
I mean, as long as their family signs off on it, I don't see an issue with it at all.
Yeah, I definitely like that. That was a good one.
Some more movies that let me down this year. I will say The New Quiet Place, Day One was...
Yeah, did not care for that one either.
It was like a romance story.
Yeah.
I love Joseph Quinn. He plays Eddie in Stranger Things.
Yeah,
He's the main guy. I love him, and I'm happy he got a big break. It was like a rom-com, and
I didn't really.
I thought we would get an origin of like where the creatures came from.
I know that's what I was hoping for. Is like, you know, like are they aliens or are they from like a different dimension or a different time?
Like, what are we doing here? You could have done so much with that, and I know they already signed off. I think they're coming out with another one in 2025. I hope it's better.
I know. I hope so too.
Because I think the first two were great. This one, This one, not so much.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Quiet Place movies, but
they were better.
They were definitely better than this one. I definitely agree with you on that.
That was very disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. They wandered around the city for like 2 days looking for pizza, and then she found it, and then she like, killed herself.
And then she just like kills herself.
Which I guess same. I'd be wandering for pizza too.
I get it because she was terminally ill too, so it's kind of like
I forgot about that.
know, she kind of probably wanted to die anyway. You know, I mean, trying to survive terminally ill through all that, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, and then at the end, it's kind of cheesy because she like whips out her like AirPods and starts playing music, so the creatures all come down.
Yeah.
It's just very, I don't know. It's very odd.
I know, I agree.
Another movie that let me down this year too, which I think could have been a lot better, was Don't Move on Netflix. Do you remember that? When the guy drugged her and was dragging, the whole movie was just him like dragging her and she was trying to run away.
Oh yeah.
And they were like that. Oh, she goes to that old guy's house.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's better.
That was the dude from American Horror Story.
Yeah,
right?
Finn something.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That kind of reminded me of like.
I could have went without it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's been done before, kind of. You know.
Yeah, I'm happy because I like him playing the villain.
Yeah, I know he was very good at that. Like he's definitely sociopath, like.
Material.
Typical, like, serial killer. And it was kind of cool because it, like, kind of dove into his life, too, you know, which was kind of cool because you never really get a look at the killer's side of life, you know.
That's true. I just think it was, like, it could have been a little more exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Because it was kind of very, like, okay, that's going to happen. That's going to happen.
Predictable.
Yeah, very predictable.
Like, once he drugged her and made her, you know, she can't move, it's just like she's letting, you know what's going to happen.
Yes, exactly. I'd liked another really good one that came out this year that I really liked was In Violent Nature. Another kind of unique horror concept. Wicked violent kills.
I think that
some of the stuff that I've
yeah,
I think it did too. I think Fangoria or Chainsaw Awards. Yeah, that's what it was. That was like, damn. Like I never thought you could do something like that.
Yeah, I mean a little boring in some parts I think for people, but that kill kind of brings you back to life when you're watching it because you're kind of just like, oh, okay, he's walking through the woods, and then that happens. You're like, whoa. Yeah,
and it's cool. I liked it because it's all killer point of view for the most part. I mean, there's obviously they can't make the whole movie like that, but like basically the camera's following the killer the entire time, so it's like there's probably 5 minutes of him just walking through the woods, you know,
which is very interesting too because usually, I mean, not done very well in every movie, I will say, but usually we get some kind of emotional connection to the characters when we watch a movie. It's like, oh, we see them in the beginning, they're with their family, So we feel bad when they get killed. This one, we're like, we don't know who these people are.
Yeah, they're just like...
They're random people.
Yeah, it's weird how the director did that. And that's what I thought was really unique, because it was like, I've never really seen a movie kind of shot like that.
And like, now that I say it out loud, I wonder if it makes you like... not sympathize with the killer, but almost understand, because the killer is just going through killing random people. They don't have any emotional connection. Like, we've been watching these people from the minute they started. So
exactly.
Don't kill them, please. Whatever.
You're right. I see what you're saying. You kind of develop like a bond with the killer kind of thing, because it's like, he's an animal. It's like no different than like an animal going hunting. He's just doing the same thing. So you kind of like
controversial.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like you get like that's like that same kind of concept though.
Yeah, no, I think that was definitely... I know they're making another one.
Oh, good. Yeah, I would like to see more of those, because I thought that was pretty cool.
I know they are making another one.
Yeah, I dig that. That was a good one.
A movie I think was really good, and I kind of forgot about it because it came out in the beginning of the year, was Immaculate.
Yeah, that was really good. We went and saw that in theaters. That was a very good movie.
Definitely demonstrated Sydney Sweeney's ability to act, and I hope she's in more horror movies, because she did really well. Mm-hmm. And she produced and funded the whole movie herself. She really wanted to get it done.
Yeah, that was a great film.
We actually have an episode on that.
Yeah, we did
talk about that. A few episodes back, we talked about it.
Yeah.
If you guys are interested.
Yeah, we did the kind of like that and The First Omen back to back. That was another one that came out this year as well.
The First Omen was really good.
Yeah, which would be kind of cool to see that, 40 years from now as like a double bill, like playing in the theaters again. That would be kind of cool.
That's a really good idea. Like how they do like Frankenstein and Dracula back to back or something.
Yeah.
Because they are
very similar,
and
but
it's weird
not.
They came out so close together.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, like that's the thing, is like they're similar, but they're not,
Yeah, no, they're very, yeah, no, they are, yeah, I don't know.
That's non-exploitation, kind of.
I remember one of the things that I saw when we were researching was like a review, and it was like 2 supernatural Catholic horrors in this economy.
Yeah, right.
I thought that was funny.
Against the church, I know. Those are both very good.
Both killer acting in both of them. They both did.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'm not familiar with the actors from The First Omen, but she killed it. Did a great job.
Yeah, she was very good.
The scenes and the imaging in both of them were great. I definitely recommend both of those movies.
Yeah, for sure. Those are definitely probably in my top 10 of the year for sure. Another good one this year that I kind of really liked was Tarot. I liked it was horror, like the acting and like the whole the direction of the movie kind of was like bad, but the monsters in it were like really good, like super terrifying. Yeah. Like you were waiting to see like, okay, this tarot card's this like creepy demon
like
Joker
the
thing. Yeah, like let's see what this thing's gonna look like. And they did a really good job, like with the production on making them look freaky and creepy and everything.
Which I feel like that kind of carries the movie. Like movies like that, again, like we said earlier, I don't think you expect much from. Yeah, they're just fun, lighthearted horror movies. Like for us, we put them on in the background or before bed. Like they're nothing crazy. They're kind of just like fun and lighthearted. And I think that the characters in that kind of just carry. Yeah, they make up for the lack of dialogue or character development or anything like that.
Yeah, and it was kind of campy too. Like the whole group of friends and everything was like that campy kind of horror.
But unique.
But it was like supernatural campy. It wasn't like slasher campy.
It's not like the typical they're in the woods and they're gonna get picked off one by one.
Yeah, exactly. Or like they got stranded somewhere,
And I wonder, I'm not too familiar with tarot cards, but I wonder if that is a thing. Like you're not supposed to use somebody else's deck; you can only use your deck.
Yeah, I've never heard. I don't know a lot about that stuff, so I don't know. But I mean, I imagine.
I'm sure there's some kind of curse or some
sort
kind
of rule, unspoken rule,
urban legend on that.
Yeah.
Should we talk about Longlegs?
Yeah, I want to do a couple honorable mentions though of some other ones. Okay. There was Mr. Crockett, which was...
Oh, that's a Hulu original.
Yeah, and that was actually really good. I really liked that. It was super, like, what the hell? Like, you can't stop watching it. I know, I'm kind of happy they are, because I was like, this is crazy. He looked like a... what's his name? Yeah, Steve Harvey. No, it looked like Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey killing people, man. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I definitely, especially for a Hulu original. Usually, I stopped watching Hulu originals a while ago because they're all terrible.
Yeah.
But I saw that movie a bunch on TikTok, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And we put it on one night, and we were both just like, what the hell?
I know. I was just like, this is weird but
and
good.
very violent.
Super violent. Like, the kills were like, holy crap, man.
You would not expect the kills, because it almost seems like, because it's based on a kid show, so you're watching and you're kind of expecting kids kind of level scare.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming, but no, holy crap.
Violent.
Man, there's like disemboweling going on.
And I mean, I would watch it again. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I would definitely watch it again.
Another movie I really liked this year, which I don't think Nick's seen yet, but I watched, was the end of the X trilogy. I watched Maxine.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
And I think it was a good end to the trilogy, and it's based in the 80s, so it plays on, you know, like Richard Ramirez, the Satanic Panic. It plays on a lot of things that happen around then, and I think it's very fun, campy. It's, again, those movies you don't expect much out of. You're not watching it for the plot. You're watching it for the kills.
Sure, for sure.
Kevin Bacon's in it. Halsey's in it. I think it's a fun movie. Nice end, for sure.
What's it? Lily Collins, she's in it too, right?
Lily Collins is in it. She doesn't last very long, but she's in it.
Yeah.
I love Mia Goth. I think she's an absolute queen. And
yeah, she was good in X. I liked her in X. That was good. And I haven't seen Pearl yet either. So.
Oh, Pearl's she's such a good actress. Because Pearl, it's mostly just her by herself, like in like a field.
Yeah.
She's at the house because she's the mom.
Yeah, she's the granny. Yeah.
And it's mostly just her, and the whole time it's kind of like the Demi Moore with The Substance. It's just her in the scenes, not really talking, so she has to convey her feelings with her face or like emotion.
Yeah.
She does a really good job.
Sure.
Like the ending scene, the camera's on her for maybe 10 minutes, and she's just laughing and crying. And
right.
It's messed up.
No, I bet. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I'll have to definitely watch those. I don't know. I didn't really care for X that much. Like, I thought it was going to be a lot more than it was. So I kind of was just like, I don't really have any interest in the other ones that are coming out. But, you know, not to say I wouldn't like them if I watched them, though. That is the truth. Another really good one that came out this year, Late Night with the Devil, which was another...
Oh, it's such a good movie. I forgot about that movie.
Great found footage, you know, that whole... Lost episode, band episode kind of concept. Super good. I really liked that movie a lot.
I think we did an episode on that too. God, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I think it came out February last year.
I think you're right. I was going to say February.
But it was, the acting in it was so good. It was very unique. It makes you feel like, I felt like if it was an episode, I would watch like 10 of them.
Yeah.
You know, like I would have watched like a million of those same.
Yeah,
I just love the idea. It's very nostalgic.
For sure.
And very unique idea.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely a super unique idea. Like that whole like found footage, lost footage idea. I love that stuff. It's happening in
Bohemian Grove. Like as as a commercial movie doing that is very...
Yeah, like kind of saying like, you know, they're up to some stuff up there, you know.
And not only that, I think that's the first theater release for a Shudder-made movie.
Yeah, I think so, too. A Shudder original made it into theaters. So
that's huge.
That's super huge. And it did awesome, too. It's got 7 out of 10, like a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It did very, very well, which as it should be. You guys should definitely go watch that if you haven't seen it. It's not... And I think it's safe for most people. If you like any sort of scary movie, it's not super scary. It's like fun and it's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's interesting and it's not super violent. You know.
No, I think it's safe for most people.
Yes, yeah, I definitely agree.
Definitely go check it out if you haven't seen it.
For sure.
Another movie I saw this year that was really good, not as good as the original, of course, was Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton still looks like a Winona Ryder. They all look amazing. Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun to, you know, just to get like a little closure to it.
Yeah.
Storyline is like, it's a little forced, but it's a fun movie. It's Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, I know. It's more supposed to be kind of like a comedy anyhow, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's worth checking out if you obviously anybody that watches this podcast I'm sure is a Beetlejuice fan. So.
Oh yeah. I mean it's still horror technically. Yeah. You know, it's like a horror comedy.
It's Tim Burton's mind just coming onto the screen, which is a scary place.
Oh, for sure.
So definitely go check it out. Jenna Ortega does a really good job as well.
Yeah. Well, I think we could talk about some long legs because I don't think we've talked about that. Yeah, if you want to keep going, I'll look for some more. I'm just looking at the short list here.
Mads.
Woo. Oh, I was just gonna say Mads. Oh my god, that was so good. I love that. That was so freaking cool.
So Mads, it was a French horror movie.
Yeah, good old French man.
Interesting about Mads, it was okay movie for me. But what I respect the hell out of it for is it was all done in one take.
Yeah, there was no cut. It was one continuous shot the entire time.
mind-blowing.
Yeah, and it's like an hour and 25 minutes, like normal full-length runtime, and
absolutely mind-blowing.
Oh my god, it was so good. And like the whole time you're watching it, you're like, is it drugs or is like is it a virus? Like what's going on? And you finally find out it's a virus at the end, but oh my god, it was just so good and super violent, and like just how they were able to do it all in one take was just awesome. Like it's such a cool movie. I think that was like a Shudder only release.
Very impressive, though.
Very impressive, yeah. But I think, you can definitely find it on Shudder or Amazon if you have that, because it's an affiliate of Shudder. So definitely give that a watch, especially if you like French horror, because that was definitely up there with some of the best French horror I've ever seen.
Another movie that I don't know if you liked, but I thought was fun, and I think it was worth a watch, was Abigail.
I thought it was alright. Like,
I think it was fun.
It was a fun horror movie. Definitely kind of more of like a comedy horror, in my opinion, because there was kind of like, some funny characters and then like some funny moments, especially with Abigail, because she's like a 10-year-old girl. Yeah. So she still acts like a 10-year-old girl.
Yeah, no, I think it's worth a watch. I didn't hate it, for sure. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I keep seeing Night Swim pop up on here, which Night Swim was terrible.
Yeah, I thought like it was going to be a lot worse than it was, like, but it still was really bad. Like the idea was cool, but like they executed it kind of I mean, I guess that's really the only way you could make something like that.
I don't know. Do you remember
I don't know.
What show was it? Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
Remember they did that episode where they're in the school pool and
yes.
I think they did that very well.
Right.
And I feel like if somebody could have elaborated on that, because
that was like, but that was more of like for kids, so it was kind of like corny and goofy. Like this was trying to be like super serious.
No, I know. You could have elaborated. Like when we were all younger, we all had that. At least I did. I remember going in the pool and being like, something's in there.
Oh yeah. No, I definitely think so.
It's Blumhouse. Like they could have.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It was a Blumhouse release, and you're like.
They paid
expecting like something crazy, but no.
They could have done something to make it better. I don't know.
Another one I really liked this year. I think we kind of talked about it in one of our episodes, but it was "You'll Never Find Me."
Yeah.
Very good psychological horror movie.
That movie got a lot of hate. I don't know why.
I don't know why either. I thought it was great. I mean, it was kind of like a slow burn, and that's probably why a lot of people didn't like it, because it is like most of the movie you're like, what's going on? Like, this is stupid. Like, we're just, like, obviously somebody's being sketchy
Someone's lying.
Yeah, somebody's lying about something, and, like, that's until, like, the last 15 minutes you find out who's actually lying,
Which, it is fun, though, because you're going back and forth, and you're like, do I believe him? Do I believe her? Like, who do I believe?
Yeah, but it's cool, like, at the plot twist at the end, it's like, she was never really even there. It's all in his mind, and it's kind of like high tension in a way with that whole, like,
karma's a bitch kind of thing.
Yeah, but like it's not really even happening,
Yeah.
It's all in your mind. But yeah, karma's definitely a bitch.
Suppressed guilt basically coming to life.
Yes, and over consuming him, and ultimately he kills himself. It's it was pretty great movie, honestly.
Well, Tarot has a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I liked it. I thought it was good.
I mean, to each his own. Another movie I was going to ask you about too is how did you feel about the American version of Speak No Evil came out this year, too.
That was good. I like the Danish version better, just because they push the limits and stuff like that. I'm more into, like, the limit pushing. Obviously, you can't do some of the stuff in America that you can do in, like, other countries.
And not in the theaters.
Especially not in the theater release, too. But it was good. Like, I wasn't, like, disappointed with it. But I definitely would, if, like, I had to choose between the two, definitely the Danish one. And I think everybody should watch that one first before they watch that one. To get an idea of, like, this is what it's based off of, so you can kind of, like, draw parallels and be like, okay, that's wrong, or they did this different kind of thing,
What if the American version had the same ending as the Danish version? Would you pick the American or no?
No, still the Danish.
You would still pick the Danish?
Yeah, I'd still pick the Danish. Just because, like, it's such a... I mean, Speak No Evil, the Danish version came out in 2022, so it's weird they... 2 years later, like do a remake, an American remake of it.
Well, I guess it's like back in the day they did that with The Grudge. The Grudge was very long before we...
Yeah, that is true, yeah. And they did the same thing with, like, Martyrs. They remade Martyrs in America, and, like, that was, like, 8 years after Martyrs came out. So I guess it's not unheard of, but, I mean, I don't know.
Americans don't like to watch foreign, which I don't really
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, is, like, that's why they do it, is like a lot of people don't want to go watch like something in subtitles, you know.
They're like, let's make money off this storyline that's already been done. People will go see it because they don't know about it, or they just want to watch people in English talk. You know?
Yes, exactly. Like some people have a hard time sitting through foreign horror movies, especially if it's not dubbed over, you know.
Yeah. Oh, well, that didn't come out this year. I would say Saw, but that came out last year, right?
Yeah, that was 2023 that came out.
Because that came out in October, so it was almost...
Yeah.
But they are making a new Saw next year.
And that'll be highly anticipated for sure.
Alright, what do you have to say about Long Legs, if you're ready?
I think I've hit all the ones... Oh, Daddy's Head.
Mind you, I convinced my whole family to watch this because of Stephen King.
Yeah, Stephen King said it was one of the most terrifying movies he's ever seen. We watched it, we're like, what the hell was that?
I still love you, Stephen King. If there's an off chance you're ever watching this, I still love you.
Yeah, definitely. Stephen King, you're still the man. We definitely value your opinion, but...
You're still our Lord and Savior.
What the hell?
Yeah, that movie was not... And he's not the only one. I've listened to podcasts where people are like, oh, it's very creepy because like he impersonates the dad and...
Yeah, but it was like... They never told you what the thing was.
I think you barely even see it, right?
Yeah, you don't even really see it. I mean, it's like the one time in the vent you get like a full picture of it, and it's like this. It's just like this thing on all fours with the dad's face, and it's like like somebody cut out a picture and like glued it on a dog, and like that's the thing. It was so bad.
If anything, okay, it's got one like good scene.
Yeah.
The rest of it, you know, not that great.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like the kid playing outside and doing things he's not supposed to while his mom yells at him.
Yeah, exactly.
Or his new mom, whoever she is. It's like the dad's girlfriend.
Yeah, it was like the dad's like young girlfriend or something like that.
I know, Stephen King, I trusted you. I put that on when we were carving pumpkins.
Yep.
And I trusted you.
Yeah, I think that's about everyone that I wanted to kind of touch on.
We didn't watch The Strangers because I heard it was so bad.
Yeah, I heard it was horrible too.
So I have no intention of watching it.
There was one we kind of started watching. Oh yeah, Baghead. I don't know. I think that was a Shudder one too. We started watching. We didn't ever end up finishing it because it was supposed to be like a comedy horror, but it wasn't like really funny, like in a dark way or anything like that. Like it wasn't. I don't know. It was kind of just boring.
Yeah.
Cool concept and everything, but yeah, I just didn't really care for it that much.
Yeah, I don't remember it, so it couldn't have been too...
Yeah, I think we turned it off like...
Too promising.
40 minutes in or something like that, because it was just like, this is kind of dumb. But yeah, so Long Legs... That was probably the most anticipated horror, well, besides Terrifier, I'm sure, but at least for me and the hype that was built around this movie, that was probably one of the most anticipated ones for this year. And
the marketing of this movie.
Yeah.
I know, it's been a little bit, it came out at the beginning of 2024, so people probably forgot, but the marketing of this movie...
Oh, yeah.
Insane.
Super, super insane.
It's based on a serial killer, so they were actually, like... putting actual like ads out that there's a serial killer on the loose with like fake pictures of bodies and crime scenes.
Yeah.
When in reality, it's just promo for this movie, which is you can call it his phone number.
Yeah, you got like a phone number to talk to the serial killer. Like they did all this stuff to hype it up, and I really liked it, and I'm sure you did too.
Yeah, we both love Long Legs, but I know it's a controversial movie.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of people ended up like very let down and hating it because it was very like it was good in its own way, but it wasn't good in like a traditional sense of horror, in my opinion. Because there's some very corny and downright just funny parts in this movie, like especially with Nick Cage being Long Legs the killer.
Yeah, I will say, yeah, it's definitely not your most easily digestible horror movie for most people. You know, most people watch Halloween and they're like, that's a good movie.
Yes.
But Long Legs, and I thought that too when we were watching it. I laughed at some of the parts of Nicolas Cage, which we impersonate him like 7 times a day.
Yeah.
But I listened to a podcast on it, and she was like talking about how great of a movie it is, and she was like, "Yeah, people laughed at those parts." She goes, "But if you saw someone doing that out in public, you would shit yourself."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the thing, though, because it's like that guy's crazy as fuck. You know.
Like if I saw a guy doing that and yelling, "Daddy, Mommy, unmake me," I'd be like, What?
Or, like, just doing weird, like, hand stuff. Like, being all weird and, like, just fried.
When he goes to, like, the hardware store and she's like, Dad, the weird guy's back again.
Yeah, and you think that's going to be, like, a killer. He's going to abduct this girl or something. And it's, like, literally, he just says some weird stuff. The girl's like, Dad, the weird guy's back again. And then it cuts to another scene.
I will say, yeah, he does some weird stuff, but this is like the role of it's a lifetime. Like, he's wanted to play someone like this. You can tell he puts his
he does.
heart into it. And I will say the scene, Makeup and Row, I don't remember her name in the movie, but when she's interviewing him, they finally get him and they're in the room and he just kept smashing his head.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah, he ends up like killing himself by like blunting himself to death, like bludgeoning himself to death. That was crazy.
That was very disturbing because the whole time he's got like this weird big smile and like his face is painted like white and
he looks like a, I don't even know, like a deranged granny.
I don't.
But like a guy, I don't know. It was super,
I know what you mean, like deranged granny. He's like grandma.
Yeah, I don't know. He had like this white, like puffy coat on and like this white curly hair. Yeah, he's like this pale as can be, with like pink lips.
And I think this was another one too that was very like aesthetically shot and
well, that's Osgood Perkins. He was the director, and I love like Black Coat's Daughter, The Pretty Thing on the Wall. That was the same director, and those are very, very like aesthetically pleasing movies.
Yeah, you can tell because it's like the dead of winter, and like there's a lot of shots of outside, shots. Like, it's very mood setting.
Yeah,
I would say.
I definitely agree.
But I think, I mean, it gets a lot of hate, and I can see where some of the hate comes from. But I think, it's not just a serial killer. It's a very unique concept of like it gets into like Satanism and rituals, and then there's a plot twist at the end where her mom is involved on it, and you don't think her mom's going to be, and then they put these little girls' souls inside these dolls, and that demon thing was creepy.
Oh yeah, and
sitting on the couch.
Yeah, the thing like I loved about the movie is like how Osgood, he took like, you could see like the demon following the FBI agent. Like you have to look for it. Like it wouldn't like just come out and like
remember I was like, there's something behind it.
Yeah, like pause the movie. You got to like pause the movie to see it, because it's like something. It's very quick, but you'll see like this goat thing standing like off in the corner, or like it's hiding between like two doors or something like that. It's very cool, like subliminal stuff he does with that.
Say, like your subconscious is already kind of gearing up for something like that.
Yeah,
and I definitely wanna. We've only seen it once, which I don't know. We should watch it again because
definitely should watch it again.
Watching it again, which spoiler alert again. Watching it again, knowing that the mom's involved, because the whole movie she's calling her mom.
Yes.
And her mom is just very weird, and you can't tell if the FBI agent's weird or the mom's weird.
She's definitely really weird.
Yeah.
Like
you can't tell who's like making the conversation weird, and she keeps talking about this man that lives in her basement. And it's very unsettling, and then she's like, "Are you coming home for your birthday?" And
and it all revolves around like birthdays and kind of like numerology and stuff like that. It
ties into like some ritualistic.
Yes, very ritualistic kind of, and it's like kind of like that Satanic Panic era too.
Yes,
because it's like early '90s, I think, kind of like same time like Silence of the Lambs kind of thing, and that's what this was supposed to be anticipated as, was like the next Silence of the Lambs,
And I think it does. I think it gives.
It is basically like the Silence of the Lambs. It's an FBI agent, female FBI agent too, trying to track down this prolific serial killer, And
it has to do with her, and she can help solve the case.
Yes, it's all based kind of around her kind of thing. So it was I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great movie. I think
it's worth a watch.
I definitely think you guys should watch it. Don't listen to like everybody saying it was just like, unless you're like, for some reason don't like that kind of horror, because it is kind of like a different style of horror for sure. But yeah, I definitely would still give it a watch regardless.
Yeah, and I'd be interested, like I said, to watch it again too, to see, knowing what you know after watching it, rewatching it, and seeing, who's in on it, who's not, because I think there's a lot of like hidden messages along the way that we missed out on. You have to it's one of those movies you got to rewatch again.
Like how that's what I kind of compare it to his other movie, The Pretty Thing on the Wall. Because that's one you have to watch. Like I've probably seen that like 15 times because I learned something new every time I watch it. Like, okay, that makes sense now. And that's it's another one that's kind of confusing and hard to watch, because it's a slow burn, like, you don't really understand what's going on, but you kind of still want to just keep watching it because it might make sense in the end,
And that's what I like about Long Legs, too, is it's not a slow burn. I feel like it starts off right away, like, there's a scene where she like hears something outside. She goes outside and she looks, and Longlegs is like already in her house.
Yeah.
And he's like, writing her notes, and you're like, who's this guy?
Yeah, who's this old lady out in my front yard?
And he just already breaks into her house. Like, there's no, I mean, there's a little bit of build up and tension, but it's not like the whole movie. It's not a slow burn by any means. It's very right into the action, which I love.
Yes, I agree. But yeah, definitely probably my number one for the year. Well, besides Terrifier, that's my number one. Yeah, so I guess if I had to do like a top 5, I would probably say my number 5 would be I Saw the TV Glow. Number 4, Oddity. Late Night with the Devil. Number 3, Longlegs, and then Terrifier.
I think I would do... Oh, my computer just stopped working. I think I would do... Terrifier would probably be my first. Second... I would do Longlegs. Third, I would do Late Night with the Devil. And then I would probably do... I really like the first Omen.
Yeah.
I would probably do that as my 4th. I don't know. My computer just stopped working. I don't know what to do as my 5th. Maybe... I mean, I really did enjoy Immaculate as well. I know they're both very similar, but I did really like Immaculate. I think seeing Sydney Sweeney in a role like that was very eye-opening, for sure.
I would say those, like, 2 are probably tied for my 5th. I just like the whole... aesthetic of I Saw the TV Glow and like the weirdness, because I like those weird like fantasy horror.
Or Oddity. I liked Oddity.
Oddity was good. That's definitely my number 4 for sure. That was a great one.
That was a good one, but I mean, honestly, I have more. Usually, I have more that I dislike that come out than I like, but this year I feel like there was more that I liked than I didn't like. So
yeah, for sure. No,
I think any of them could go up in my
I know exactly what you're saying.
Which is a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
There's been some doozies.
Oh, for sure. Definitely been some bad ones. So, what we're kind of anticipating for next year, or for, I guess, this year, horror, because it is this year now. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot coming. There's some sequels and remakes and...
a lot of sequels.
A lot of sequels coming out, for sure.
I think it's mostly sequels. I'll go through some of them if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
They're making a Black Phone 2.
Oh, okay, that'd be interesting. I did like the Black Phone. I thought that was pretty cool.
I'm not mad at that. I love Ethan Hawke, which I think he won't be in it, though, because I think he killed him at the end. Didn't he kill the grabber? He came out like 2-3 years ago.
I can't remember. I'd have to watch
it.
I think he ends up getting killed. Yeah. Or like killed, maybe he comes back,
Saw 11, which I'm pumped for.
Oh, yeah.
This is interesting. They're making, remember we watched it, they made the horror movie about Winnie the Pooh.
Oh my god, yeah, that was horrible.
They're making another one of those, but then they're making all these, like, they made one about Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse, yeah, it's like Disney characters.
But this one actually looks interesting. I think it's Korean. They're making one called Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare.
Oh, really?
Which I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, Koreans, they never really disappoint with their movies either. I mean, Train to Busan, there's a lot of good Korean horror out there, especially like the zombie ones.
Squid Games.
Yeah, Squid Games, that's obviously a huge, awesome Korean thing.
I know, I saw one of the actors, which I'm terrible, I can't tell you any of their names, but he was on one of the red carpets. He goes, this is the first time I've been to a red carpet for a Korean movie in America.
Oh, wow.
He goes, I always have to play a Korean actor like in an American movie, basically.
You're right, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Or for a Korean role in that movie.
Right, I gotcha.
They're making, apparently the last Conjuring, which I doubt it'll be the last.
Yeah. I'm kind of on the fence about that, because I didn't really like The Devil Made Me Do It or whatever.
Mm-mm. It's supposed to be called The Last Rites, which rites is R-I-T.
Yeah, like religious kind of on-take.
If it's like an end to the whole universe, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Everything. Yeah, like it all loops back around.
Yeah, like if you tie in The Nun with Annabelle, with Amityville, with the Warrens, and...
Yeah, exactly. Do something cool like that.
Or go through, like, it'd be cool if they went through all the artifacts they had in that room, because there's so many artifacts.
I know, they should. Well, I feel like that's probably what it's going to end up being, is like some sort of like spin-off on some of the Warrens' artifacts. Mm-hmm. Like, once this ends, it'll be like,
New movies that come out.
Yeah, based off the Warrens, like the samurai outfit that, in that one, Annabelle one,
I don't know if you knew about this. There's a return to Silent Hill.
Yes, I actually just saw that. Yeah, there's I think it just got approved within this past week. It got approved for.
I haven't heard you talk about that. I figured you'd be all over that.
Yeah, that I actually just saw it. I think Friday morning when I was looking stuff up. But Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool because I haven't done a Silent Hill, I think, since 2012 was the last time they did a Silent Hill.
And the graphics have come so far just in...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're coming out with a new game, I think, is either out now or coming out this year. It's a remake of the original Silent Hill video game, which the movies are based off of, so that's going to be pretty cool for all you nerds out there.
They're remaking Wolfman.
I know, I saw that with the girl from the Ozark, Ruth.
Yeah, Ruth.
Yeah, she plays the girl in it.
She's a great actress.
She is a very great actress. That's going to be pretty... I'd go see that, because I don't think they've remade the Wolfman yet.
And I wonder why.
That'd be kind of interesting to see. It's werewolf movies aren't really like anybody's cup of tea. I don't feel like I've never met somebody like, oh, I love werewolf movies.
Well, maybe that's because they're not really done. Like, you know?
Well, there was, like, back in the day, I mean, there was, like, Wolfman versus Frankenstein. Yeah, Ginger Snaps was okay. That was definitely
Werewolf in London.
But I feel like that was, like, probably, like, the last really big one, American Werewolf in London. I mean, yeah, Ginger Snaps, because that's more of, like, a cult movie now, but I think when it came out, it wasn't, like, anything, oh, wow, Ginger Snaps, you know?
I hope they do a good job with it. It seems... like very aesthetically done, like very well shot. It's not like a cheesy horror movie by any means.
It's going to be like a period horror movie, like how Robert Eggers with Nosferatu.
I know.
That came out last year, but we haven't seen it yet.
We sucked that we haven't seen that yet because I would love to talk about Nosferatu.
Yeah.
I would also love to talk about Heretic, but we've been waiting for that.
Yeah, I can't find that anywhere. Is it out? I don't know. Like, I've been waiting for any kind of update on it, but still nothing.
We don't go to the movies a lot, just because of the country we live in, but...
Right.
Those are very highly anticipated movies for me this year, especially Heretic. I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, I've been wanting to see that because I love Hugh Grant. He's hilarious.
Another big movie coming out this year is Final Destination.
Yeah, there's going to be another good one of them coming out, I've heard.
Which, how sad, because Tony Todd's in it.
I know, that's going to be weird to see him.
No, he's in it. They filmed it before he died.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be... He's in it, though.
Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be weird to see him in it and knowing he's not there anymore, you know?
It makes me so sad. It's like when they do all the Scream movies and they used to put, like, Remembering Wes Craven and all that.
Yeah.
It makes me so sad.
Yeah, I know. That's going to be a good one.
What an icon.
Seriously.
My favorite part of the Final Destination movies are always the kills.
I
don't care about the storyline. Nobody does, really, I don't think.
No, I mean, that's a cool concept, like cheating death and everything. But yeah, the kills are definitely, because they're like the most bizarre, like...
unique.
Yeah, like this could never, ever happen kind of death, you know?
The tanning bed.
Yeah, like that stuff. Like, that's like 1 in a billion chance that would happen. Yeah, so there's a couple other good ones coming out. Presents starring Lucy Liu is supposed to actually be coming out, I think, on the 25th of this year or this month. So that one's going to be pretty cool. That looks spooky. There was another one, Companion. I don't know when exactly that's supposed to be out, but that looks cool. That kind of reminds me of like The Substance, just the way I've seen the previews. It kind of just reminds me of like that kind of style of filming and everything like that. So that's going to be pretty cool to see.
Yeah, both the trailers for those look really cool.
Yeah, and then The Damned, that looks super terrifying. And again, I thought that's going to be a folk horror movie, so that's definitely probably going to be really good. And then A24 is doing like a dark comedy horror, which I saw the trailer for. It's got Jenna Ortega in it and Paul Rudd. It's called Death of a Unicorn. And it looks pretty good, actually.
I was like, because they've been weird with movies. Like they did that one last year with Jesse Eisenberg, where they were all like, what was it? They were all like Yetis or something.
Oh, Sasquatch. Yeah, that was an Ari Aster movie. Yeah.
Yeah, they get kind of weird with her.
Yeah, I know. I want to see that because, I mean, I love Ari Aster. I've basically loved every movie he's put out. So I definitely got to check that one out.
They're making a new Fear Street movie, which I love the Fear Street. I love R.L. Stine.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's going to be a Netflix original or if it'll actually be in theaters, but I love the Fear Street. I think they're really good. Yeah,
and they do have a new Goosebumps coming out, too, with David Schwimmer, who plays Ross on Friends. Yeah. Stay Out of the Basement's going to be the premise for this.
Which the show was so good.
I don't know what you call it. Chapter, I guess, of the series.
Because the chapter for the last one was more like Slappy.
Slappy, yeah.
He was like they had to defeat Slappy, but they paid homage to a lot of different of the stories,
Goosebumps.
Of course.
Yeah, and I hope they continue on doing that with this, which I really liked that with Justin Long being like R.L. Stein and stuff like that. That was perfect. That was like the role he was born to play. I like how R.L. Stein did his little cameo too in the end of it. Like,
I love that for him. I would sell my soul to R.L. Stein. I owe my life to him. I love him.
Yeah. They got 28 Years Later coming out too this year, which is going to be probably one of the biggest ones of the year. I think
that's the most highly anticipated. They said the trailer for that like broke the internet when it came out.
Oh hell yeah! Cillian Murphy's supposed to be in it too again, so that's going to be cool.
Yeah, I guess he survived this whole time.
Yeah, I think it says. I thought I just said.
No, he's in it. I've heard that as well, but I just don't. Like, along with the story, I don't know how that...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he might be, he might not be. I don't know. It comes out in June, so...
Unless they do like a flashback or something to him.
Right.
And he's in it.
Yeah, they got another remake of I Know What You Did Last Summer, so...
Yeah, you want to know
see how good that is.
You want to know how that happened is... Sarah Michelle Gellar, she didn't know that they weren't announcing the movie yet.
Oh, really?
So she accidentally posted on, like, Instagram a picture of, what's her husband's name? Freddie.
Oh, Freddie Prinze Jr.
Freddie Prinze Jr. Yeah. She posted a picture of his, like, set chair that said Freddie Prinze Jr. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh,
and the internet went wild. And she goes, oh, yeah, I got scolded a little bit because they're not supposed to know that the movie comes out yet. So that's the only reason we know is because she posted on Instagram.
That's funny.
Like the queen she is.
The plot has, there's no plot yet, but it's the original... it's basically kind of, I'm assuming it's probably going to be like their kids now or something like that. I would say, because
he's the only one that's alive, and then Jennifer Love Hewitt's character is alive, and that's it.
Yeah.
As far as the main cast.
Yeah, that's so I'm thinking, like, that's probably going to be, like, maybe they got married and had kids or something.
And they're like, I know what your kids did last summer.
Yeah, it's going to be something like that. Kind of like what they did with the Scream thing, you know, like how it's like, oh, they're kids now, you know. Insidious, there's supposed to be another Insidious.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah.
The last one sucked.
Let me see what else.
The one I am pumped for is they're making another Five Nights at Freddy's, which I loved Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah. No, I agree. That was pretty good. I like Five Nights at Freddy's too. I loved how Matthew Lillard he got back into acting as like a villain in horror.
Again, yeah.
You know? So that was great. And he did an awesome job in that. And then the kid from Bridge Terabithia was the hero.
Josh.
Yeah, I forget his name. Josh something.
But him and Matthew Lillard are both signed on for the second one, so they're both in it.
Oh, that's going to be great. I didn't think I was going to like it at all. I'm like, this is stupid, like toys coming to life, but no, it's not even like that. Like, that's the best part. It's so good.
I love it. And I love the game as well. I guess they're remaking Frankenstein.
Yeah, I saw something like that too.
So it's a big year for Wolfman Frankenstein.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to do like a Wolfman versus Frankenstein like they did back in the 40s or 50s. That'd be kind of cool. One I'm really pumped on is Hell House, the final Hell House. So sad. It's going to be the last Hell House, but
I'm so excited.
I cannot wait. Hell House LLC is making their final movie.
It doesn't come out until October?
Yeah. Lineage. I hope it comes out on Halloween. So,
I don't know if I can wait that long.
I loved Carmichael Manor was good. A lot of people didn't like it. I really liked it. I love all his movies. I forget his name.
Yeah, I forgot his name too.
I forget his name. But he's a great director.
But kudos to you. You do a killer job in these movies.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, he's just a phenomenal director. And I want to get that in a box set once it's all done. I have like the Hell House box set for my DVD collection.
I like the Carmichael Manor. That was very...
I really liked it too.
It was one of those movies where it made my feet sweat.
Yeah. That's how all of the Hell House ones for me. Like, this is... Like, when I saw the first Hell House, I couldn't sleep. Like, it scared me that bad. I was like, this is, like, there's just something, the way it's shot, and, like, the whole premise of the movie. It's so real.
And not only... It's so real, yes. But what I will say about these movies is they're so simple.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's not like this over-the-top crazy plot twist.
The budget's probably like $20,000.
Yeah, and he freaking kills it, man. I mean, it's definitely, I think, a cult following. I mean, I'm sure this isn't going to be like, maybe in a couple more years it'll be like theater release stuff, but...
like the Carmichael Manor, like when the doors, like he's knocking, they think someone's knocking on the door and she's like, that's not your brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what do you do? You're in the middle of the woods.
I know, and this freaking... Oh my god!
And that was the most like far-fetched one. Most of them were just in a basement of an old building, which is very realistic. And basic concepts.
Yep.
No crazy special effects or anything until maybe the third one, but
yeah.
As far as the rest of the movies, I love Hell. We should watch that tonight.
I know. There's such great movies. I love Hell House. It's very it's a comfort movie for me.
The clown. And
yeah, the clown.
I think they only get better because it starts with the clown, and you're like, okay, it's a creepy clown. It's not going to be any more than that. Second movie, they're going to get rid of it, and then it's like they give the clown a backstory.
Yeah, they give like the whole lore of Hell House is very intriguing too. Like, you know, how it's all like the satanic cult that owned the building that they have it in.
Kids and like the girl in the Carmichael Manor, she was kidnapped.
Yeah, and you know, at a carnival and stuff like that. It's very like it all ties together, and I think that's what this is going to be. Is like going to be the final like wrapping out all the movies together.
I'm sad.
Which they kind of did in every movie. They like put a little piece like this related back to the first one, the third one related back to the second one, the fourth one related back to the first one. Like it's very like not as in depth as Saw is, but it's very Saw-esque in that way, where it's like, oh, that's why they showed that in this one because of that, and it makes sense. Yeah, so I can't wait for that. I know I can't wait until December or October. Oh my God, I want to watch it now. I know. Oh, man. They're remaking Silent Night, Deadly Night, so that'll be kind of cool. That'll probably be it says late 2025, so these might not be real. I'm just looking at it's bloody disgusting. No, so. I have heard that, I think. And then they're, I guess, remaking Anaconda, too. I guess Paul Rudd and Jack Black are going to be in it. Well, I hope Jack Black is eaten by Anaconda. That's going to be pretty funny. I was going to tell you, too, I don't know if you knew, but they're remaking Resident Evil, and George Romero's doing it. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Really? That's what it's going to be. That's another Resident Evil? Yeah, but George Romero's going to do it. Oh, that's going to be interesting as hell to see. I hope they kind of keep it to like that futuristic, you know, post-apocalyptic video game kind of tone like all the other ones were, you know. We saw a preview for this last night, but Hard Eyes, I think it comes out next month, The Valentine's Killer, which we haven't seen. Yeah, Hard Eyes, yeah. We haven't seen anything since My Bloody Valentine. Right, the remake in the 2000s, I think. Yeah. We haven't seen anything Valentine's Killer. Yeah, we really haven't seen anything Valentine's related. So that'd be kind of cool. I hope that's something. It seems kind of teen cheesy kill, but I hope it's good. Yeah, I guess there's another one coming out, Vicious. It's to be announced yet, but it's got Dakota Fanning and it's also the same guy that directed The Strangers and The Dark and The Wicked. So Brian Bernito. I have heard about that, yeah. Yeah, so I'm hoping that comes to light. It says that it was initially slated for February, but it's now seeking a new release date. So we'll have to wait and kind of see when that comes out. Because that'd be interesting, because I love The Dark and The Wicked. That was a great movie. Probably because that Hard Eyes is going to be like the movie of February. Maybe they're trying to... Yeah, they probably want to... Yeah, kind of space it out so it gets proper theater time and all that. They're making another Megan, which I didn't like Megan. I didn't think that was like anything crazy. I could go without it. Yeah. Let me see. I don't know if it really needs a remake. I don't know how you're gonna... Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Hell House and definitely The Damned and Presence for sure. And yeah, now I know there's a Silent Hill and Resident Evil remake. That's going to be pretty sweet to check out. And Final Destination, I'm pumped for that. Yeah, that's going to be cool too. With the graphics that we have nowadays, I mean, they did really well back in the 2000s making those movies, but the graphics that we have nowadays, I'm excited to see the CGI and all that for the kills. I know, that's going to be awesome to check all that stuff out. Because some of those were kind of cringy, you know, like the roller coaster, like flying off the tracks. It was the 2000s. They're fun. So. They're lighthearted, they're fun. It's no big deal. I know. Well, I think that... You got anything else you want to add there? No, just happy to be back. This was fun. I know. Hopefully we'll keep this going. I guess we'll see you guys next time. We'll have probably a couple movies to review. Hopefully by then we've seen at least Heretic or Nosferatu or... Yeah, definitely wanted to see something. Both of them for sure. So maybe we'll do an episode on that when we can get a chance to see them. For sure. And Hard Eyes too. We can go see that. It's like our Valentine's Day. Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah. All right, guys. Fun. All right, well, stay spooky. Next time, stay spooky. See you guys.